Be Your Best You, the Passionate to Purpose podcast with David Delaney. Good morning and welcome to this episode of Be Your Best You. It's May, it's summer officially, when we are heading out of lockdown in so many places around the world. Green shoots and signs of positivity. However, a lot of us have still got feelings of having been locked down for quite some time and out of kilter, out of sync, and energies not aligning in the right place that they should be. My guest this morning can help. Breda Stackpool is an energy alignment coach, and Breda's soul's purpose is to lead others to their point of expansion. So she does this by helping you identify what you want and how to get yourself into a position to make sure that you can bring that into your reality. She's passionate about helping people prioritize their own success by stepping into the true version of themselves. And she has the ability to help you create the results in your life that were once only a dream. So Breda, good morning, and you're very, very welcome to this episode of Be Your Best You.
Good morning.
Breda, tell me a little bit about what you do. Okay, primarily people will know you as a coach. I'm working with women in business would be your I suppose, niche, if you want to call it that. Tell me a bit, what do you do?
Well, basically, if you want to bring it down to the basic core information of what I do, is I help my clients get clients, but I help them get clients in a way that suits them, their business, their life, their time commitments, all of those kind of things. And it's really about finding the easiest route to the type of business structure that you desire. And all of us need clients in order to do that. But I think a lot of us go the long way around creating the structure that actually supports us, and we put in place all of these things that, well, they might not be necessary to be there, or they just make things very hard for ourselves. So it's kind of my job to go in and help people unravel, well, what do they truly want, and then what's the easiest way for that to come to them. There's a lot of mindset and strategy work in it, and a good bit of energetic work as well, which a lot of people don't even realize when they get started with me.
And your journey to where, to where you are now in terms of the work you've done, you've run businesses yourself. You were, I believe, the first president of the Chamber of Commerce, first female president of the Chamber of Commerce in Laois. So you have a lot of business experience and a lot of what you do in terms of experience you can pass on to clients. What has been the most challenging thing for you in the last 12 months? And we obviously have the COVID experience, that's called. What has been the most challenging thing for you as a business coach and a business owner in the last 12 months?
Well, yeah, definitely the COVID thing was a challenge, but the most challenging thing for me was, I suppose, coming back to work, I suppose, if you want to say, in a full-time capacity while having my first child. So that was the biggest thing for me. And I started to realize that when I decided to kind of focus on work again, I never really stopped focusing on work, but then it came a time where it's like, right, I need to kind of put some structure around this and get back into it in a full-time capacity. That it didn't work. The way that I had done it before didn't work anymore, because I had this small, tiny human being running around and wanting my attention whenever he wanted it. So I had to find a way to be a lot more flexible, to let things happen a lot more easily for me, and to stop fighting what I thought I needed in place to have a successful business. And it was really about, I suppose, stop resisting it, number one, to find the way to go with the flow with it. I had to do a lot of internal work, a lot of block release, a lot of beliefs that I had around the way I should be working, the way that I thought I need at the time I needed to put into something in order to see results. And I kind of had to get rid of all of the ideas around you must have X to have Y. And I started to play around with, well, what if I just focused on Y? What if I just focused on getting the thing that I want in the easiest way possible? We've all heard the line, the path of least resistance. And we resist it like I was going to like use a bad word there, but we resist it like to the highest level all of the time.
Is that something that's built into people's minds? I mean, is that part of the work that you
well,
do?
I think it's not that it's built into our minds. It's something that we pick up along the way. We pick up from, you know, obviously childhood would play a role in this, school would play a role in it, our first jobs, all the jobs we've had all along. And we're expected to work so many hours to get a paycheck for so much at the end of it. And then I think when especially for those who go into their own business, we have this misconception that that's what needs to be in place to get that certain amount of pay. But you can collapse everything around that when you own your own business. You know, you can have huge paydays, huge pay months, huge pay years in a way that suits you best, working much less time and focusing more on, you know, letting it be easy for you. But we have to get rid of everything around that, around the belief that it can't be easy, around the belief that we have to work 40 hours a week, around the belief that we have to deliver X, Y, Z and above in order to get paid a certain amount.
Would it be fair to say that in one sense that COVID has changed, the weather's changed lots of things, you know, unfortunately in negative ways, but is there, I suppose, a silver lining in that it's changed the perception of how we work? As you say, people work 39 hours a week for a paycheck, they work in an office 9 to 5. And then 12, 13 months ago, this thing happened.
Yeah.
Where people realize, okay, it's almost a forced flexibility on people, that they can't go to the office in a lot of cases, that they might find themselves juggling family life, and they have. So has it been positive for your work? And easy to say, look, Mr. Client, look, Miss Client, you don't have to do this thing. You can, you don't have to. And there are, you know, you can spread your work over 7 days, you can spread it over 2 days, you can do.
Yeah.
So has it been positively impactful on your business and what you do?
Well, I suppose the positive side for my business was a lot of people had to come online quickly. And I've run an online business since 2009, really. I've had a lot of stuff online. So a lot of people then started turning to me saying, how do I get my business online? Like, how do you market? How do you like set yourself up? How do you work with clients online? And all of the, and you know, I just an aside on that, like when you work with clients, let's say online or through video calls or through telephone calls, you're still working with them one-to-one. And a lot of people think they're working with them online. And they have a total, you know, different idea around working with somebody in a one-to-one capacity as, you know, instead of working with them online. But it's the same thing, it's just done in a different format. That's one thing. So yeah, it had a positive impact because people were coming to me asking me how to do it. But in relation to the whole COVID thing, and this is my own just personal belief in it, I think COVID had to happen to all of us for different reasons. And I think it's probably not going to go away until everybody gets what they need from it, or at least the people who can get what they need from it get something from it. And already I'm seeing people backtracking on the things that they decided in the first of the lockdowns. So people had time to reflect and think and like look at their work and look at their life, and had that disconnection time to say, and relaxation time and, you know, rest time to make some decisions. But people are starting to go back on those decisions now. So we have to remember that, you know, everything that we got a chance to reflect on, it was there for a reason. And we have to remember to go back to that and say, right, well, what did you decide you weren't going to put up with any longer? Or what did you decide that you were going to change? And what bad habits have we let back into our lives and our businesses? And it's happening a lot now. I can see it a lot. And I think it's to do with a little bit of maybe desperation coming in. It's not happening quick enough for them, or they think, oh, well, you know, it's all coming to an end now. So that was a dream that I can't pursue any longer. And it's not. It's something that it was there for a reason. So maybe we all need to go back and remember what we decided, or like had those aha moments on, or how we felt, like, because it felt good in the first lockdown in some ways. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Breda, what does success look like to you?
Oh, there's a question.
Probably a question you asked your clients. You know,
I do and I don't. Success to me is ease and flow. That's success to me. It's being energetically aligned with all that you want and having no resistance to it coming. And we all have moments in our lives when that happens for us. It may not be like just for money or business or relationships or whatever, but it'll be in some areas of your life. We can all have those memories of, do you know what? I knew that was going to happen. I believed it would happen, and it happened in the quickest possible way. That's success, as far as I'm concerned. And if we can apply that strategy to every single thing that we want and desire in our lives, imagine what our lives would work or would look like. Like the success would just be a given, right?
Why do you do what you do?
Because so I was thinking about this question this morning, but I do what I do because I can. I do what I do because I can. And I think I've also been put in this role and being like asked to do this really from, let's say, a higher person or whatever, because I can help people be a better version of themselves and allow things in a little bit easier. And I've watched so many people completely transform their lives, like in all different levels, because of, it's not because of me. Like I was supposed like a small part of their journey, but I do it because I love it. I do it because I can. I do it because I would feel empty if I didn't. And I just have so much information and knowledge and intuition and all of these things to share that if I didn't do it, I think I'd just explode. You know, it has to go somewhere. So I do it because I can. I think that's the only answer.
When we talk about gut feelings and intuition and things like that, and
Yeah.
Something that comes up in conversations that we're having on the podcast, technology plays a big role in all our lives at the moment. And do you think, as a coach, you know, working and depending on, I suppose, intuition as part of what you do you think technology has a negative impact on intuition, gut feeling, stuff like that? Do you think people are almost too connected that they can't sit back and say, I'm just going to go with the feel, I'm going to go with the flow for a minute? What's your opinion? What's your thoughts on the role of technology in that?
I don't think it acts as a negative thing for people, but I think it can act as a distraction. I think it can cause information overload in a person that's trying to make a decision on something. And it takes away their ability to trust themselves and trust their inner guidance and trust their own thoughts and their own feelings on something because they're getting distracted by information. And I think that's the only negative side of it. And like, it's one thing that I've started to do because my screen time was getting out of control is I'm starting to just put my phone away completely. I even delete all the apps off my phone on the weekends and all of those kind of things. And you have to give yourself that time and space and quiet time just to disconnect. And I think that's the negative thing, because you see, the thing is, when you're focused on something, and especially a question, loads of information will come at you in order to answer that question, but everybody has a different like take on it, and everybody has a different way for you to get to the answer that you're looking for. But sometimes you just need to say, you know what, I have enough knowledge and enough information within me. Let me just trust myself that I have the ability to make this decision for myself, and go in and say, right, if I make this decision, does that feel good? And if I make that decision, does it feel bad? Always go with the one that feels good. Try to get yourself away from the one that feels bad as much as possible, and you'll get onto or you can't go wrong with making that decision, should I say. So social media is brilliant for getting support, for getting information, for getting knowledge, but there has to come a time where you think, right, I have enough knowledge, I have enough information, let me make a decision now. Or you're just going to confuse yourself more.
Is there an app that's changed your life or your business in the last 10 years?
An app?
Yeah.
I wouldn't say, well, would you call Facebook an app? A platform, maybe? Yeah. Facebook. That's where most of my clients come from. And I love the fact that I can connect with so many people at once in there as well. So it's given me, you know, my stage and my ability to share my truth, my messages, my information, my like tips, whatever. And yeah, without it, I wouldn't have the business that I have today. Definitely not.
Just on that, if Facebook became a paid subscription model, would you continue to use it?
100%. Well, it's
change. Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, well, it's a business, a strategic. It would be a strategic business move. So, you know, we can't be afraid to invest
in ourselves and in technology,
of course. Absolutely. Yeah.
Breda, what's your favorite song and why? Question.
Oh, now look, I'm not a big music person at all. Never have been. And you know, my favorite song changes all of the time. So, like, I'm sure you can agree with this as well. The song that you like now, it wouldn't have been the same one that you liked back when you were like 16 or 25 or whatever. But I usually go with the one. My favorite at the moment is one that dropped into my head a couple of weeks ago, actually now. And they become my favorite songs because I believe that, you know, when you have those moments where you just start singing a song spontaneously. Have you ever had that? Especially, we get it a lot in the shower.
Yeah.
Now, often those songs are kind of intuitive guidance of a message and something that is like, you know, coming your way or something you should do or how you should feel or whatever. And the one that dropped into my head a few weeks ago and I've been singing ever since is, now I'm not a good singer at all. I'm free to be whoever I wanted to
the Oasis one.
My life. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now that's the one that dropped into my head a few weeks ago. So that's my favorite song at the moment. And I love the message in it. So I'm going to stick with that for now.
I'm laughing because as we're doing these chats with people around the world. And this is we're having some serious conversations in some instances about various different things. But the hardest question to be answered is, what's your favorite song? And people
it changes. It changes all the time, depending on what mood you're in as well. So
well, I spoke to a musician. The only one who's actually giving a straight out answer was a musician. So look, it does change. Breda, if you were to if you were to have your 15-year-old self in front of you right now, what single piece of advice would you give them?
If I had to narrow it down to one piece of advice, what would I tell her? Oh, I know. Trust your gut. Trust your gut feelings on things. You know, when it feels off or feels wrong, make the decision to walk away from it and turn around and run. That's what I would, because I've learned a lot from a few of the positions or, you know, circumstances I found myself in, but there was probably no need for me to go through them to learn those lessons. And when I think about them and I reflect on them, I always had a feeling at the beginning that something was off, or, you know, maybe this is not the right thing. So
what did you want to be when you were a kid? What did you want to be when you grew up? What do you want to be?
When I was a child, I wanted to be, or in my teenage years, a medical researcher. Science has always fascinated me, completely fascinated me, and that's what I did in college. You know, I studied science and got my degree in science and went on with a HDiP in applied physics. But really, the part of science that like completely grabs my attention is brain science and how it works. And like it's a huge minefield, and it's, you know, it's being developed and being researched more and more and more every single year. And the way that I am now in that is through like the energy and like how do we tell the difference between intuitive thoughts and our own, you know, stuff that's going on.
Levels.
Yeah, quantum leaps, energetic shifts, all of those kind of things. So science is still completely in my core. Love it.
Okay, well, my next question is, I suppose I'm going to ask you, if you're on a desert island and you could have two people with you for 12 months, who would they be?
Two people with me for 12 months. I think I would bring somebody like the Dalai Lama for, just to calm me down and help me figure out and understand the reasons why I got stuck on a desert island for 12 months. And you'd want somebody for a bit of crack and light relief as well, though, wouldn't you? Probably bring my husband. He's a good cook. He's a bit of crack. He's good in a crisis. So they're the two I'd bring.
The last question I want to ask you today, Breda, just we're coming on time, is who inspires you and why?
Well, this could be a loaded answer because, there are so many people out there that you can grab inspiration from. But if I think about who inspires me in my daily life right now and inspires me to continue to push through and try and build my business and bring it up a level, and even for me to raise or step into the next version of me, it's my clients. Definitely my clients. I have, I'm getting a bit emotional, but I've spoken to a lot of people over the years, and a lot of the initial conversations I have with people are them telling me that, this isn't working. This is their last chance. It's too hard. It's, it's something that they don't ever want to give up, but they don't see any other way right now. And I've watched some of those women transform into something that they never even considered could be possible for them from that first conversation. And I have to be better for them, and I have to continue to grow for them in order to give back so that they can take what I have to offer and grow themselves and grow their business as well. So every single one of my clients is my answer to that.
Good answer. Breda, tell us where we can find you and your work and how we can get in touch to work with you.
Well, my website is prioritiseyoursuccess.com, and the best place to get my full attention is in my Grow Your Business Facebook group, where I do monthly masterclasses and monthly Q&A sessions as well. It's a free group, anybody can join, and I give you as much help as I can in there and answer all questions that are posted. So there's tons of information and resources in that group, tons of trainings, and I'm in there every single day. So that's one of the best places to find me. And also I'm on Instagram at Breda Stackpool, so you find me there as well.
Excellent. Breda Stackpool, thank you so much for your time this morning.
It was a pleasure. Thanks a million, David.
And that's it for another week. Thanks for joining us this morning, and do join us next time on Be Your Best You. Have a good week.